Okay. I'll grab my glass. Let's see.
Hello,
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good. Do you want to just give a little bit about yourself?
Okay. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go on and go live on Instagram
Okay.
real quick, like it while I'm doing this. So let me just put live, and then yes, I will begin to webinar is being recorded. Continue. Okay. Okay, so now I can go live. And I'll set this right here. Okay, definitely now I'm ready to go. I'm live on Instagram. I'm live with you guys. So, hey. So just a little bit about myself, and I'll keep it brief and short, um, but very interesting. And for those that are watching on Instagram, some of y'all have heard the story before because you've been following me for quite some time. So um, I'll just be brief. I've been in the industry 30 years, long time. I was one of the first shops in the history of medical marijuana in the city of Los Angeles. I've crafted several pieces of policy in the city of LA to, make sure that cannabis, is done in the proper fashion in the city of Los Angeles. So I sat on the steering committee for the ICO, which means the interim control ordinance. That was our first piece of legislation in the city of LA. The second piece of policy that I crafted was Measure M with social equity, is what you have presently today in the city of Los Angeles, which is considered law in the city of Los Angeles. So that's pretty much what I've done in the city of LA. So I'm an activist. I'm an owner operator. I own 3 micro businesses in the city of Los Angeles and a 120-acre farm in Southern Humboldt. So I'm an activist, a policy writer, as well as a owner and operator in the cannabis industry. So that kind of sums up a lot of what I've done in the industry. I'm considered a pioneer because of just a lot of the things that I've done in the cannabis industry to bring it to present day. Pretty much it in a nutshell.
Okay, one of the questions is how much does it cost to start the cannabis business as far as the license, the application, background check?
Okay, so the licensing fees are actually only $5,000, about $4,900 and something dollars. So the licensing, actually what it costs to get a license in the city of LA is like $4,000 for your licensing fees. Where the other fees come into play is depends on what part of the business that you want to get involved in. So you have to always tell people there's a couple of things you want to first figure out. What sector of the cannabis industry do you want to be in? Do you want to be in cultivation, manufacturing, distribution, retail, delivery, or maybe even do you want to be in an ancillary part of the industry, and ancillary to the fact that there's a majority of the ancillary businesses do not touch cannabis. So we're talking maybe a security, you provide a security system, like the tech part, where we need people to come in and install our cameras, our DVRs, and everything we need for our security system, alarms, this, that, and the other. That is considered an ancillary part of the business. Or you provide packaging for us, Mylar bags, jars, glass tubes, plastic tubes, whatever we use for the cannabis industry is considered an ancillary part. So it just depends on what part of the industry you want to get into. Each one of those sectors comes with its own cost. And so those costs vary. So let's just say if you decided I want to be in retail, I would say retail, realistically, and if you know the industry and you know how to run a retail, $250,000 bare minimum. If somebody was to come to me and ask me as a consultant, because I do consulting work, I wouldn't give them that number. I would tell them 500,000 or better. And the reason why is because if you want to achieve the level of success in the cannabis industry among the players that are already in the industry, you're going to need a little bit more than a couple of 100,000. If you already understand how to run a cannabis business, and there's certain things that you won't have to experience or deal with, I would say 250,000.
Okay, so how can, as someone starting the cannabis business, how can it be successful? How have your business been successful so far? To give advice to someone else that's starting, how can the business be successful for them as well?
Unfortunately, I can never use myself as a model in that sense, because I started back in the early days when there were no rules, when there weren't any laws. So I came from a different era. And so coming from that different era, it's like talking to a bootlegger, or it's talking to a numbers guy. Like, back in the day when Bumpy Johnson ran numbers, or people did bootlegging. It was a different deal back then. So now you try to open up a liquor store or open up a club or a bar, we talking a whole lot of money than a speakeasy in the backwoods of Georgia or the backwoods of Kentucky or somewhere there. It didn't take a whole lot to get something like that started, right? When you were running numbers back in the day, it didn't take a lot. But lottery is a multi-billion-dollar industry now. So, to get into something like that would take a whole lot. So I would always say I'm not a good model as far as what to look for, because when I got into the industry, I probably had about maybe 20 grand, 30 grand, 40 grand is what got me started. Wow. And maybe a little more than that, but not that much. And I could just work my way and climb my way to the top. That's not going to cut it in the cannabis industry today. You see the big companies that have come in, and they have made this $1 million industry. And so most companies that start off, and I'll just give you one example. Let's look at that big shop that opened up in Anaheim, or in Orange County, that came from out of Vegas. And I got the name of on the tip of my tongue, but I can't call it. But they were on TV. It took them $14 million. They spent $14 million to open up that shop, right? $14 million to Planet 13. That's the name of the company, Planet 13. Planet 13 spent $14 million to open up that shop, and they went over the top. And because they have investors and they have people giving money, this is how these companies come into this industry and has raised the bar to a different level. It's no competing with a $14 million company that can just drop $14 million on just their build out and open up, right? So we have to think on more of a small mom and pop level. Even on that small mom and pop level, which I would consider myself on, I still spend millions into my business every year in order to keep it going. So if you wanted to open up a shop, and I would say now I would be thinking partnership, more or less than solo, not unless you are well capitalized. Now, if you're well capitalized, this isn't pertaining to you. If you're not well capitalized, then we're talking a whole different ball game. Now we're talking, if you're not well capitalized, you're going to find a shop, and what you want to look for is a storefront, right? You want to make sure it has decent parking, and you want to make sure it has good foot traffic. You can find that kind of already in a sense what we call built out, where you don't have to do too much building to it. In other words, a place you don't have to go in there and gut it out, clean it out, and then refurbish it and rebuild it out. Because you're going to spend at least about maybe $200,000 or $300,000 on that, right? So if you get a place that's already kind of set and ready to go, and all you have to do is put cases into place, counters, this, that, and the other, I'm saying probably about maybe 100 to 150,000 would get you going, you know, and you would have to be in there working it yourself if you didn't want to, if you didn't have the money to spend on your employees and paying people to come in there and run your shop for you. So there are a lot of things that you have to take in consideration now. So that's 6 months worth of pay that you need to have on hold in the bank account. You got to consider how many employees you're going to have, what you're going to pay them. Minimum wage is $15 an hour. Then you got to think of a manager and somebody you're going to have run your place. On the average, you're going to probably pay them $18 to $25 an hour, depending on the experience that they have. And you want somebody experienced running your shop. So these are some things you have to take in consideration: your security system, which can run you into the tens and thousands of dollars. So, like I say, if you are someone that doesn't have a whole lot of capital, I would be looking at partnership. Maybe 5 people coming together, bringing, say, 40, 50,000 to the table together. Now you sitting on a decent little chunk of change that you guys now can then invest in the business. And you got to make sure that that's what you can invest and also have more in case you need to put more into the business, so that 40 grand can't be your end all to coming into the business.
Okay, so do you know if California offers grant?
They do. So DCR and the state of California gives grant money. Unfortunately, they don't give a heck of a lot. They were handing out 5,000, 10,000 here. And I think the most you could have gotten was like $25,000, which is, that's okay. That'll probably help you with your inventory, because your inventory is going to cost you quite a bit. The average, and I'll just give you an example. An average order for me is about $6,000. That's one company, one brand, right? If you have a store, you want to carry multiple brands. I carry about 40 to 50 brands inside my shop. So you could do the math on 40, 50 brands times that amount. Of course, they do net 30 net 15, net 20, meaning that they will drop the product off. If you're a licensed business, they will come back in 30 days to collect their money. Me, myself, I just didn't believe in doing it that way. I believe in paying for my product up front, because it just, I don't believe in owing anybody, because what happens at the end of the month, you didn't sell any of that product, right? Now you got to pay for that bill that you didn't move any of that product on. And so now you got to figure out how to sell that product, because some products sell, some don't. And it also depends on who you have behind your counter, right? Because that's very important. You got to have a salesperson behind your counter. And I'm talking about one of those salesmen that used to come to your door back in the day selling knives and selling vacuums, and the Amway guy that was coming to your door. And he was a great salesman because he could sell you anything. Those are the type of salespeople you need behind your counter, because you will have product that will sit there and you need to push, the sale. But I just told you what it would take to get inventory, staffing. Then you got to think of how you're going to pay your employees. Are you going to go ADP or whatever other? That's a cost that comes with that. Then if you plan on putting them in uniforms, that's a cost. Like I have on my company uniform today because I was at work all day, and this is my company uniform. These polo shirts and these hats cost. You got to understand there's a lot of costs associated with opening up a business, and I don't want people to think that getting in the cannabis industry is anything like it was when you street hustle, because it's not. It's totally different. Majority of the people that come from trap shops to work for me, they don't make it. And the reason why is because this is not a trap shop business, and you can't have a trap shop mentality. And what I mean by trap shop is illegal shops, unlicensed shops that you see all throughout LA. Majority of those people come to want to work for me and other legal shops is because they're tired of getting raided. They're tired of getting jacked up by the police while they're working inside those shops. The long hours, because they work 16, 18 hours in those shops. They get terrible pay and they get treated like crap. In my business, you get paid with a paycheck. I have medical insurance. So I am a legit business. And those are the type of shops that you want to work for, not those other shops. But those other shops, they don't pay a lot of fees that I pay. Licensing fees, taxes so just so you understand, every month I pay taxes to the city, and I pay 5%. 5% is retail. Then I pay taxes to the state of California. So I pay the city taxes, and then I pay the state taxes, which is CDTFA.
Monthly?
I pay that quarterly. But it's going to go to monthly. You want to put that away monthly because you don't want to get hit with that bill quarterly, right? It's every 3 months. So if you put that away every month, then when the quarter comes, then it's not such a big burden off of you. But to the city, you pay monthly. So you pay 5% every month. You pay your state taxes. So you pay 2 state taxes. You pay CDTFA, right, which is you pay your cannabis tax, and then you pay your state tax, and then you pay your retail sales tax. So you pay about 3 to 4 different taxes as a legal business: city cannabis tax, state cannabis tax, and your retail sales tax. So we're taxed pretty heavily in the cannabis industry. And that is absorbed in many different ways of course, the consumer has to pay a tax when they come into the business. So you don't totally pass that on, but that tax is shared by the consumer. So this is kind of what you get when you come into the legal cannabis industry. Like I say, a lot of people thought they were just going to come in and open up shop and run it like it was ran when when we were back in the early days, but that's not the case. Very different industry and market now, and that's why a lot of people did not transition into the legal market, is because they did not want to deal with what the legal market had in store for them. The question that some people may think, well, paying all of those taxes and fees and this and that, and you have to pay your annual fees of renewal. So for me, who I own 3 businesses and they're micro businesses, I have to pay probably 50 grand every year to the city of Los Angeles to renew my fees. It comes out somewhere around, I pay $4,000 per license. So I have cultivation, manufacturing, distribution, and retail. So we talking 4 grand, almost 5,000 4 times. So that's 5, 10, 15, 20. That's $20,000 for one set of licenses. Another 20,000 for my second location, another 20,000. So about 60 grand. I pay 60 grand a year annually to renew my licenses. You guys would probably have one retail, no micro business, and that's 5 grand every year. So that's not really that much.
Okay, that's a lot of money.
It is, but honestly, you're going to pay that money when you have any business. If you go into, and I'm not talking just like mom and pops, like even in a liquor store, you got to pay your annual fees. And I think they pay like, I know my dad owned liquor store, so he was paying about maybe 10 to 15 grand per license annually to renew his liquor license or something to that effect. I know it was a decent amount of money. So it's just business, period, that you will operate in the city of LA. You're going to pay something.
Okay. The next question, you know what they had mentioned, like, it's like in California, even if you legalize it, the FBI still say you illegal or something like that. Somebody wanted me to ask you.
Okay, so let's talk about federal, state, and city, local, and how that actually works. All right, so back in the early days, you could be raided. The federal government would come in and raid you, could arrest you and take you to jail, right? That's what could have happened or what did happen, because it was still a Schedule I drug, federally illegal, and the feds were hell-bent on pursuing cannabis because they did not want cannabis to position itself the way it did today. So the government hammered hard. The most fortunate part is that cannabis was not going away, and the owners and operators within the cannabis industry were not going away. Whether they were raided, they would pop back up. So they were basically like, as we used to say back in the day, like roaches. You kill one and 100 more come. That's the way we did in the cannabis industry. In other words, we didn't die, we multiplied. Mm-hmm. So we did that as a show of disobedience and resilience to let the government know that we're not going anywhere. We're here to stay. And you can raid 1 and 2, 3 more pop up. And you can raid those 2 or 3 and 10 more are going to pop up. Yeah. And the rule back in the day was that when you got raided, you were to reopen and come back. That was how we operated back in the early days. And we were raided several times. I was raided twice. The difference between me and my white colleagues is that I went to prison and they didn't, and did 6 years in federal prison. So what you have today, when I got home, I made sure that was my mission of help changing the laws, that what happened to me and other Black people and Latino people in the cannabis industry, and some of my white colleagues, because I'm not saying all of them got away. Some did go to prison if they were in Southern Humboldt cultivating. But that was far few and in between. The overwhelming majority, of course, incarcerated were Blacks. What we have today is very different. You have no intervention from the federal government unless you are doing something that would warrant the federal government to pay attention to you. Just like if you guys saw on the news the other day where that blast came out, had happened. I think it was in some other city, Covina or Culver, wherever. Anyway, there was a blast that blew up and killed 2 people. So now the FBI is getting ready to go investigate that because 2 people died and there was some illegal operation going on around the legal operation. Other than that, the federal government has no business in our business in the state and in the local municipalities because we have far progressed past that. So even though it is, yes, still illegal federally and a Schedule I drug, the federal government is no longer interfering with the states that have a medical marijuana law or adult use or recreational cannabis law that exists on the books. They are not interfering with that. So you are now safe to enter into the cannabis industry without federal intervention, something that us players back in the early day didn't have or get that luxury. We do today, but we didn't back then.
Okay, those are my questions I had. I wanted to know about the cannabis, some stuff I researched myself, but those were my questions. And I don't know if Nicole, if you're still on the line, do you have any questions? Well, maybe she don't. Nicole, you have any questions?
So the most questions that people have is is employment. I have somebody asking me, they say, I'm interested, I need a job. You can always come down to any one of the California cannabis locations. I have one on Crenshaw, 7415 Crenshaw Boulevard, in between Manchester and Florence. Fill out an application there, or drop off your resume. Soto, which is our Soto location, which is by the old Sears building, 1601 South Soto Street. You can go by there and fill out an application. Or my Melrose location, which is 654 North Manhattan Place in Koreatown, on the borderline of Hollywood and Koreatown. You can always go there and fill out an application. So I have multiple locations with multiple job positions: cultivation, manufacturing, distribution, retail, delivery are available. My suggestion to everyone who is listening today, if you are looking to get into the cannabis industry, I would say first work at a cannabis shop so that you can understand the nuances of it. And or ask an owner who will allow you to come in and do, because I have people come in and volunteer so that they can learn more. My suggestion is, if you want money to come along with it, go work there. If you're not interested in the money and the money doesn't matter, then go volunteer there and learn about the business before you invest the money to open it up. I will never suggest, excuse me, or advise anyone to invest a large sum of money or a decent sum of money into something that they did not do their homework or investigate, or really do their due diligence regarding getting involved in the business, be it as an owner, operator, be it as an investor. Just a FYI, I am now indulging into cryptocurrency. So I will be one of the cannabis shops that will be accepting cryptocurrency, but I also will have a crypto coin, California cannabis crypto coin that you can then begin to invest in. So there will be, because some people may not want to be an owner and operator or get involved in the business, and they may just want to invest money into it. So I say cryptocurrency is definitely a way that you will be able to get involved in the cannabis industry, and I will make that available. People also say, hey, I have $10,000, $20,000. I will begin to open up investment for people to be able to invest their money into the cannabis industry, and directly versus indirectly. So people always say, well, what about these stocks on the that they have on the market and this and that? Honestly, I don't entertain it. I don't deal with it. I don't even look at it. So if you ask me, I don't have a clue about it. I do it on the real. I'm a real ground floor player. So I don't believe in taking my money and investing in some of the stocks that they have in reference to stock market, because people ask me about that all the time. Those companies, a lot of those companies have pumped their valuations up, and I'll give you a prime example: MedMen. Although MedMen had locations around, that was a lot of smoke and mirrors. And people invested in the MedMen, and then all of a sudden, they'll make money on the first wave, and you can ride that wave. But they thought MedMen was going to the moon, and MedMen didn't go to the moon. MedMen made money for itself, and it took that money and ran, and left the shareholders holding the bag. So I would advise investing in a company that is a solid company, that has history behind it, that has been in the cannabis industry for a long time, and that has a solid backing. Not somebody that popped up on the stock market 2 weeks ago and come up with this big evaluation and show all of these board members that supposedly been in the industry for a long time, and I never met any of them or never knew their names or don't know anything about them. Because if I don't know anything about them, they ain't been in this industry. So I just, I would be just hesitant about where you invest your money in the cannabis industry on that level. I will have leads for you guys on that level. And if you want to, you can reach out to me later on, and I'll definitely point you in the right direction of where you can invest your money. So just stay away from some of that hocus pocus that's out there on the stock market. And those that are out there that have invested in it, y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. But like I said, I will be taking cryptocurrency, and I also will be providing a cryptocurrency in the cannabis industry.
What made you do that?
So once Elon Musk started taking cryptocurrency, it was a no-brainer. If you can go buy a Tesla with cryptocurrency, that's telling me there's some value in that. There's that cryptocurrency ain't hocus pocus. There's something concrete about it. You can go buy a Lamborghini with it. You can buy a whole lot of things with cryptocurrency now. It is becoming a true currency that people are really, really starting to take notice to. So I begin to take notice to it myself, and start doing my homework and due diligence. And I've noticed that people that take cryptocurrency, it raises the value within their company. So that's just telling me, as a business owner, that's a smart thing to start taking and getting involved in.
Okay. Now, you said you were hiring. Do you have like a high turnaround or something?
In the cannabis industry, a retail period is always a high turnaround. And it's not just cannabis, it's any retail. I do have a high turnover in the industry. Even my colleagues have high turnover. You got a new generation out here, and a lot of them don't come from the school of hard knocks and hard work.
Right.
They come from the school of microwaves, and let me get on the computer and press a button and get what I need. Let me hit the phone and I don't have to go anywhere. Let my food come to me. Let everything come to me. I don't have to go get it. So we in a new generation of youngsters that don't believe in going to get it. They believe in somebody giving it to them. Just a different generation. And so that's why there's a lot of vacancies and jobs out here that can't be filled, because these kids don't want to work. They want to go and you remember back in the day how you used to see that hitchhiker with the backpack on going from one part of the country to the next. That's kind of what how these kids see life. It ain't serious until it gets serious. So yes, there are high turnovers in this industry, quite a bit.
Okay. So what's your hours?
So I have different hours depending on the location. My Melrose location is open from 8 in the morning until 10 at night. All stores, just so you know, all legal stores have to be closed by 10 o'clock. That's state law. Just like a liquor store has to shut down or a bar has to shut down at 2 o'clock, all legal cannabis shops have to be closed by 10 o'clock. If you see a shop open after 10, you know it's not legal.
Okay. Now, I noticed, I've been to one of your stores, you have security. Do you have security on all of them? And have you been like robbed or?
I got security only because, I've had no issues. When I first got in the industry, I didn't have security.
Mm-hmm.
I operated in areas and neighborhoods that I've been in pretty much all my life. I come from a different side of the tracks. So to be very frank with you, I was Southern California's weed man. And I controlled a lot of territory with weed back in my early days. So I came from that. Mm-hmm. So, just my reputation and where I was and how I maneuvered in the cannabis industry afforded me the opportunity to be in certain communities and neighborhoods. And I didn't need security because, people loved me and respected me, and I loved and respected them in return. And so, the love was reciprocated. And then I'm just a good business and fair businessman. And I just try to be a good person all the way around the board. So I've always received that back. I only got security in my businesses now is because I just want my employees to be safe. Just because, even though I haven't had any problems and issues, you never know.
Okay. Well, that's my questions. I just wanted to know, but I any other questions I can ask you on the side.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it. You got to know that a lot of what I've done comes with years of experience, years of operating in the cannabis industry, me being on the forefront of cannabis. Everything that I've done comes from a large background and a history behind it on many different levels. That's what kind of makes me unique. Somebody asked me a question today, which he asked, what separates you from other business owners in the cannabis industry? And And I'd have to say everything that I do separates me from all the owners. One, I'm an owner operator. I touch each one of my stores every day. At some point in time, I touch each one of my stores every day. Owners and operators in my industry don't do that. They are what I call absent owners and operators. They do not really go into their stores at all. They probably pick up their phone and on their bank app and look at their numbers come in and maybe communicate with their manager or who runs their store. But if you go into a shop right now and you honestly talk with the person that works there, half of them have not met the owner or don't even know who the owner is or what they look like, and probably never will. That's just how it is in the cannabis industry, unfortunately. These are a different breed of owners and owners in the cannabis industry. I come from the ground floor of this. I come from predating legalization. I come from the hustle. It's a different element. It's a different vibe, just a whole different get down. I come from the inner city and I come from different sides of the tracks. So I know what I want when I'm standing on the other side of the counter. So I make sure I give that to my people because I know how I want to be treated. So in other words, I treat people how I want to be treated. I don't overprice my product. So that's why I operate in I'm in the Boyle Heights area. I'm in the South LA area, and I'm on the east side of Hollywood. So I'm in areas where I make sure that my prices are community conscious prices. Mm-hmm. I don't overprice my product. I don't have prices that Cookies have or Madman or all of these designer stores, so to speak. And the quality of my product is superior than theirs in so many different ways. And I still charge cheaper prices because I don't want to, I'm not here to overcharge my community. So, it's, I'm a different owner and operator, and I love what I do. I'm not there for the money. You'll see me on Crenshaw sweeping the curve off. You'll see me blowing the curve off, sweeping in front of my neighbors next door and sweeping in front of my other neighbors next door. You won't catch an owner and operator doing that in the city of LA that owns a cannabis shop. Never. They'll hire somebody to do that. But that just keeps me grounded. And I enjoy doing those things. And my neighbors appreciate me for that. And so, like I said, I'm just a different owner and operator in the cannabis industry.
Now, the one on Melrose, that's the only one that closed at 10. The rest of them close before 10, right?
Crenshaw closes at 10 Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Oh, okay.
It closes at 9 the days prior to that. So Monday through Wednesday, we close at 9. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we close at 10. And Sunday, we only open from 10 to 6.
Oh, okay.
Melrose runs from 8 o'clock all the way to 10 because of where it is. It's on Melrose,
right.
and right. It's a nightlife over there where people
it is.
Are walking the streets right. Even at 11, 12 o'clock at night. So right. We stay open a little further. My Boyle Heights location is in an industrial area, so it kind of shuts down after dark. So we stay open till 9 there.
Okay, so this is probably a personal question. Which one generates the most? The one on Melrose?
You would think that,
yeah.
But no. Crenshaw and Melrose go back and forth. They battle back and forth. Crenshaw's is there's a true story. It's money in the ghetto. A true story. Oh, yeah. It's money in the ghetto. Why do you think everybody come to our community and open up shop?
Right.
Because it's money in the ghetto. The Koreans have opened up liquor stores in our community because it's money in the ghetto. So don't think that it ain't no money in the ghetto. It's money there, and we spend. We are the biggest consumers in this country, basically, you know. And you would think that others are the biggest spend. No, Black folks still spend the most money.
Mhm. Mhm.
So yeah, it goes back and forth. It goes back and forth with Melrose and Crenshaw.
Okay. I may look at coming to work part-time. I have a full-time job. I may want to work just part-time, not every day.
Not a problem. I
Gotta
have
work on
part-time. I have part-time work as well.
it. Okay. I'll call you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All righty. Anything else you want to add? Thank you so much for your time.
Only thing I would say is, in order for a business to be successful, or to you to be successful in owning a business or operating any business or going into any endeavor in your life, be it your career path, be it you go get a trade or whatnot, you got to love what you do. Else it's just work. And that's
Mhm.
all you're going to do is go there, go to work, and go home. You
Mhm.
have to love what you do. And because I've been around so long, and I'm one of the longest standing owners and operators in the history of medical marijuana and cannabis in the country. I've been around longer than anybody that's still operating in the cannabis industry today. It's because I love what I do, and I get up every day to go do it willingly and enjoy it because I love what I do. I did not get into cannabis for the money. I didn't.
Really?
Hey, really. I got into cannabis. I had a full-time job working, making money, doing me. I got into it because it was fun and I enjoyed doing it. And then I found out I was good at it.
Oh,
And
you
then
should
once I
sell it.
realized I was good at it, I wanted to be the best at it. And then I
Oh,
became the best at it.
okay. Yeah.
So it wasn't about the money. If I focused on the money, I would have stopped a long time ago when I got raided the first time and
Mhm.
they broke in all 7 safes and took and seized all the money out of my bank account and put
Ooh.
me in the jail and I got out with no money, I'd have stopped then,
Mm.
right? If the money mattered. But the money never mattered. It was I love what I do and I became very passionate about what I do and the fight to legalize cannabis in California and in the city of Los Angeles.
Yeah, I think that was pretty awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, it was.
So, it wasn't about that. It never is about the money for me. The money will come. Now,
Mhm.
don't get it twisted. The money will come. If you love what you, and that's in anything. If you love what you do, the money follows. It automatically will follow. But it can't be your main focus because if it's
Mhm.
your main focus, when the money goes, then you go.
Right.
And when you go and the money go, the business go. Can you tough it out when the money ain't good? Can you tough it out during a pandemic? Can you tough it out during economical crisis? Can you tough it out then? If the money don't matter, you will.
Yeah, that's true. Well, thank you so much.
Yes. Well, it was a
I,
pleasure. I hope that the information that I provided can, just kind of give you more insight on whether you want to come into the cannabis industry, because cannabis is not for everybody.
yeah,
I'll be the first to say that. It's for those who love what they do. Once you gain a passion for it, but it's not for everybody. And the other businesses that people have thought would be the hottest thing or the nicest thing or the best thing. Back in the day, everybody wanted to be a rapper. That was the hot thing. Once rap started really taking off, everybody went and spent a lot of money to go to the studios to try to create a song and make a tape and so on and so forth. You know who got rich off of that? The studio owners.
mm,
So I'll leave you with what I did. I was in Vegas over this week speaking on social equity. I spoke on a panel at the MJ Biz Con event. So I spoke for one day and then did a Q&A the second day. You want to be the pick and the shovel to those people that was looking for gold, because that's who got rich. Not the people that was looking for gold, but the ones who sold them the pick and the shovel. So when we talk about ancillary parts of this business, there are a lot of things that we need resource-wise, that even if you don't want to be in cannabis or you don't want to indulge, but you do want to be connected, you could do that. You could be an advertisement firm. You could be, someone who makes jars or who makes bags or who makes something that we use. You could be a designer in the cannabis industry and bring us a lot of apparel for brands. Like somebody had to make this hat and this shirt, right? And I had to spend money to get it. And whoever's supplying me with my shirts that I need year after year, every time I hire a new employee, I got to buy them new shirts and caps and this and that. That person is making a heck of a lot of money off of me. I sell a lot of apparel throughout my locations: hoodies, shirts, hats, leggings, a whole lot of stuff. So whoever I'm spending my money with is definitely getting rich off of me, because I continue to keep spending money over and over again. And their business becomes sustainable just off of me. My security company, I just wrote a $6,000 check plus another $4,000 check plus another $3,700 check. Add that up. That's what I'm spending on security every 2 weeks. You see what I'm saying? So this security company is getting rich off of me. And now he has a sustainable business because of me and other companies that he may be providing security for. So a security company can benefit off the cannabis industry. If you do lighting, we all have grows. Our grows need lights. Those lights take an electrical engineer to come in and wire that. If you wire so many different grows, that electrical engineer could live, high on the hog, because of all the money that we have to spend on an electrical engineer to come build our stuff out and to maintain it. So, there are a lot of companies that have and are getting rich off the cannabis industry, and they don't touch cannabis, not one bit.
You gave me a good idea, because I thought about, I thought about the cannabis and listening, but now you think about it, you don't really have to touch the marijuana. Like I could make the bags, I could do different things and sell it to the cannabis store. That's a good idea. And that's not a lot of money versus open up a cannabis business versus getting bags, paying for bags to have.
There you go. And if you are a tech geek, we need somebody to run our social media. We need somebody to update our Googles and Weed Maps and Yelps and all of that. So that's a job right there.
I have somebody for you.
Oh, okay. Well, send them my way. I'm always looking for more people to be a part of my company. As I grow, I need more employees to help me grow this business, because I can't do it by myself.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm going to talk to you outside of this, because I'm going to see how I can get into like doing the bags for the weed, for the gummies or edibles. And yeah, you
can invest a small amount of money. Say, for instance, if I need a bag that has printing on it, you can go out and buy a machine, probably cost you maybe $15,000 to $20,000. But shoot, the first order I put out is probably going to give you that money back just like that. You know what I'm saying? And then other people that need the same service are going to come by me, because people are always saying, hey, man, where do you get your printing done? Where do you get your bags from? Where do you get this from? And it blows up into this big business. Flyers. Say you have a printing business. We're always printing flyers for our businesses to put out there for people to grab and go. Whoever's printing my flyers has got quite a bit of money from me throughout the years, because I keep printing them over and over again.
Mhm.
So there are so many things that are ancillary parts of our business that you don't even have to touch cannabis, that you can still make a lot of money on. And you don't even really have to step out of your lane.
Right.
If you're a printer, you can stay in your print lane. Now you just printing for a cannabis shop that is buying a heck of a lot of flyers that are, distribute them all over, and so on and so forth. The list goes on.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a part of that ancillary. I'm gonna do some research and then I'm gonna call you and ask you some questions because that's what I would like to do to get into because you just gave me a ding, ding, ding. So
Absolutely.
I'm gonna have to look into it.
Well, that was the goal of this session, was to do a lot of ding, 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 and a lot of people to get them to. I want everybody to come off of the hype that the media puts out there, because the media puts a lot of misconception about what this industry really is. And I started asking people that I interview, what do you expect out of this job? Because I think people were coming to me expecting something different. Like, I'm gonna go to work and I'm gonna get high for free all day and I'm gonna work behind the counter and have fun. Like, really? You think I'm gonna let you get high all day and you handling my money? That's what's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you can't be high and handle money, because there are people that smoke weed and they function better than they do not high on weed. But I'm just saying, in my company, nah, you can go smoke when you get off of work or before you come to work, but make sure when you come to work, you focus and you handling my business and handling my stuff properly, because I'm leaving you responsible for a whole lot. So I need you focused, So, it's, I just want people to understand, one thing I'm always do is I'm gonna keep it real. And if there are people out there that are fronting in line, I'm gonna call them out on their BS. Because one thing I don't do when it comes to this industry, because I have such a deep love and passion for this industry, I won't let nobody front around me. Don't lie to these people and sell them a false dream. Keep it real with them. They may not like it and they may not want to hear it, but at least you were responsible enough to keep it real and tell them what's real. I'm not going to sell you a dream because I don't have a dream to sell. I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm going to keep it real. Some people don't want to hear it. They want that dream, but it's not a dream here. I don't want you to spend money into this situation and you don't get back out of it what you expected. Not unless you're willing to put in the work. That's the only way you're going to get it out, is you got to put the work in. So
that's true.
Yeah, that's my 2 cents.
Can I, that was a lot of good sense. Can I come to the store and look at the bags and stuff you use?
Yes, ma'am. You are more than welcome.
Okay. I'll probably come to the one on Crenshaw. Most likely it'll be tomorrow. I don't know if that's going to be your daughter there.
I'm not sure who's going to be there tomorrow, but you can just reach out to me. Let me know that you're going, and I'll let one of my managers or workers that's behind the counter let them know you coming.
Okay.
And what you're coming for.
Okay.
My store is always open to anybody who is interested in knowing more about this industry, wanting to become a part of it. I do give people walkthroughs and tours and give them explanation. I'm one of the rare owners that are willing to help people get involved in this industry if this is what they truly want to do.
That's good, though. That's good. Okay, well, I will call you tomorrow and let you know. I'll give you an hour ahead before I head over that way so you can let somebody there know.
Yes, no problem. I always say, take advantage of the opportunity you have now, because I ain't gonna be in this forever. So you got to take advantage of an opportunity of what I am doing now, because there will come a time where Virgil Grant is gonna go want to tend to Virgil Grant and don't want to be bothered with nobody else. Because I done did all of what I'm doing, and all my giving and fun. There's gonna come a point in time where I'm gonna want to tend to me.
Well, I'm gonna take advantage right now before you get to that point. So
Right on, right
I
on.
appreciate your time, and I'll give you a call tomorrow, hour before I head over that way.
Yes, ma'am.
All right,
Thank
thank
you.
you so much. Have a good
Not
night.
a problem. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Mhm.